What's up, Sky Squad? We are officially in the building. Oh yes. Even on travel, we up in this building. Listen, Linda. If you're in the good chatterization, let me know where you watching this thing from. We about to bring it to you. I'm on travel, but we still up in this bad boy. Okay, I'm literally streaming this joint from the hotel room. So let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly. Let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly when you're letting me know where you are from in the good chatterization, okay? Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me clearly, okay? Yes. I see some of my people in here. Okay, Brendan Shaw says yes. Dr. Calvin Green says yes. Masika, what's up? Catherine, Joshua, Empress Carrie, thank you so much. Okay, we good. Cynthia from what? Boring old Indiana, but Indiana ain't boring, girl. Come on now. Anyway, listen. If you guys haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell button so that you can be notified when we drop new content on this channel. Also, you may not want to follow me on YouTube all the time. You might want to follow me on Facebook because some people I know are more interested in Facebook than they are YouTube. Some people just, they got their thing. You know what I'm saying? So basically, you guys can follow me there as well. And also, you guys can join the texting community where I can just send you a quick text message update to let you guys know that I'm going live or that I'm dropping a new video or an interview. And as you guys can see, I'm trying to do the live thing even while I am on travel for work, okay? So we about to do the doggone thing. I got this nice little natural lighting in the background. Let me let y'all know something. Where there is a will, there is a way, and we done made it work today, okay? Now, in the chatterization, let me know if you guys watched Marriage Boot Camp last night. I just finished watching the episode this morning, okay? So let me know if you guys happen to catch that good Marriage to the Boot Camp and the drama that went down on there, because that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to dive directly into mostly the Tahiry and VADO situation, because that's basically what the news is jumping off on. And then we're going to touch on a couple of other things. But for the most part, we're going to start with the Tahiry and VADO situation. Thank you, Chris C. Terrell. Thank you so much for that super chat. I definitely appreciate you. So let's get into it. So last night is the sort of continuation of where we left off from where we last saw Tahiry and VADO. They're all sitting down in the room together. VADO basically has had enough because Tahiry has popped him upside the face, okay? She popped him about the face with 2 apples, okay? 2 apples about the face, right? Now, that happened in the scene beforehand, and this is collectively a new scene with the group, right? And so they're all discussing something, and when they get to Tahiry, she basically leads the conversation with that he is shocking her to get her to behave like she used to behave, but she doesn't recognize that he is shocking her because she is actually exhibiting the behaviors that are on the sheet that she has issues with, okay? So he's basically shocking her for doing the things that she is doing in the relationship so that she would know how those things affect him. That was the goal for the exercise, right? So after he yanks her up or whatever, Dr. Ish basically is like, you got to go. You have got to go. We ain't got no time for violence or anything like that on this show. Now, I get why they had to escort him out at that point in time, because honestly, he had put his hands on her at that moment in time. Okay. But I think if we want to take it back, and if we want what's good for the goose to be good for the gander, there should have been some repercussions from when she tossed the apples about his face. Okay. Now, personally, again, I don't believe in retaliation. Okay. So, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But number 1, the first wrong was not right, okay? The first wrong was not right. And in this episode, I watched distinctly in this episode because I was waiting for him to also hold her accountable for throwing the apples in his face, because that too is violence. Now, again, I don't believe he should ever, to me, the way I was raised, and I feel like the way most of us were raised, is that you don't ever put your hands on a woman. as a man, it does not matter. It doesn't matter what happens. You do not put your hands on a woman. You do your best to get out of the situation. We touched on this before, right? But I also feel like there has to be some accountability for Tahiry on this show as well, because at the end of the day, you know, he never really got to the root issue of why she took a violent action against him in the first place. And I feel like by doing so, he said that everybody agreed, except for now, Phaedra was on point. She basically talked about how neither one of them were right in that situation. But I feel like, you know, Dr. Ish was like, oh, if we didn't send him away, it would send the wrong message that was okay. But what about the message that you're sending that what she did to him was okay as well? So you have to work through both ends of the spectrum. And that's sort of what Tami was basically referring to in this podcast that she does with Reggie. Okay. Now, Tami Roman and Reggie do a podcast together. Once I get done, I'll place a link for it down in the description down below. But in the description, in the podcast, they were basically talking about this whole incident, right? And so Reggie basically kind of agreed with my statement earlier, right? He says, you should never put your hands on a woman, right? We all agree on that, right? He said, I don't care how mad a female make you. You do not put your hands on a woman by no means, because one punch can end a woman. And VADO looked like he ain't no small dude, and he straight up yoked her up, right? He then added, and he was like, all the men in the room just sat there in shock like some hoes. Now, I was noticing this too. I was like, everybody in the room sat there on like mute and silent. You know what I'm saying? Like none of the dudes like jumped up, and like it wasn't a natural instinct to sort of jump up and jump in there. But listening to the guys' reactions, they were like, oh, it happened so fast that, okay, you know, they didn't have time to react, or maybe it just didn't register to them react. But everybody stood there kind of like in stone cold silence, I guess maybe not believing their eyes. I don't really know. I just kind of wish that somebody else had like jumped in there and like, you know, pulled him back at that moment. You know what I'm saying? I wish that their reaction times had been better. Anyway, let's get to what Tami had to say. So Tami said this. She says, women have got to understand, and I am in no way, because Lord Jesus, Father God, don't think I'm condoning this type of stuff in general, because I don't. I'm a survivor of DV. But I also feel that people need to take accountability in those situations. If you are a female that puts your hands on a man first, you cannot count on the fact that he has not been raised to not hit you back, okay? She added, and if he does put paws on you back, God forgive me, but I feel like then it's a fight. You are just fighting at that point. That doesn't really, and please, I'm sorry, but I don't want this taken the wrong way. That does not constitute a DV situation to me. If you are the instigator of a physical contact as a female in a relationship, and you run up on somebody who ain't been taught or who doesn't live by the thought process that men should not put their paws on women, and they put their paws on you back, you got to take accountability for the issue that you are in right now. And that's just the short end of the stick, okay? So to me, you know, as soon as I saw this, I was like, whoa, okay. I had to just jump on here. I had to jump on here, okay? Because there was a lot to process, right? And I wanted to know, let me ask you guys a question in the chatterization. Do you agree with Tami Roman on this issue, okay? And do you first? That's my first question to you. Just give me an I agree with Tami or a yes or no. Okay. Dawn Grant says I'm with Tami. Okay. I'm reading. Oh my God. One of these comments was funny. It's Itty Baby says, I'm glad Willie didn't jump in because he can't get beat up twice on one show. I didn't see it as DV either, honestly. Now, okay. Thank you for that super chat. Yes, I do. I'm going through your comments, guys. Now, here's something else that I also want to talk about real quick. Just as an aside and just some extra thoughts on this situation. And again, I'm so glad we can come to this channel and have a real conversation about this and not disagree and not cancel anybody or anything like that. And here, and coming from that perspective, in my mind, I think that there's some larger issues at play here that Tahiry needs to address, that Dr. Ish, and I'm just talking about during the episode, okay? During the episode, I felt like he didn't hold her accountable for anything. I get that he was sympathetic to where she might have been emotionally at that moment, but I do think that at some point he needed to circle back with her, and maybe he will, and we just haven't seen it yet. But I do think he needs to come back to her and really talk to her about her own aggression in this situation, because that to me is emblematic of maybe something that she might be doing in other situations as well, where somebody didn't react to her before. You know what I'm saying? And so she thought that was okay. I don't really know how to process what she did to him. I just know that it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's sometimes, you know, people want to give TV moments, and maybe that was, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was a TV moment, but if it wasn't, then that's definitely indicative of some other type of issue that she needs to address. And I felt also too, like, I personally would have definitely separated them, but I want to definitely see Dr. Ish work with both of them, either individually and perhaps separately, you know, on how they can manage their relationships moving forward, particularly for Tahiry, because she herself has admitted to, and on the show last night, she basically admitted to, you know, having issues with DV in the past. So for me, I felt like she probably would have been more sensitive. I would have wanted her to be more sensitive to taking an action like that and throwing apples in somebody's face. You understand what I'm saying? But Isaac says, I think Tahiry is used to DV being okay in her relationships to the point where she feels that if she wants to be understood or express anger, she has to use that type of behavior. I think it feels like that has become such a big part of how she deals with her emotions in relationships. And it is then shocking to her for some reason when he retaliated, right? Now, he should not have retaliated, absolutely. And he needs to own that. But I think it also goes back to this. And I think we need to educate ourselves on and really talk as a community about how we deal with toxic relationships, right? Because I feel like what we do is, you know, we stay in these situations and then they get progressively worse. And we're with a person who pushes our buttons and pushes our triggers because they too have been hurt. So you have two people in a toxic situation and you're both jabbing at each other, right? But what we got to do is we got to start learning to recognize that when we're with a person like that, we got to get out of that. That is not the best place for us to be. So if she's saying that he's never done that before, my question is, has she ever thrown apples at him before? Has she ever exhibited any tendencies before? And if she has, then he would have needed to get out of that situation ahead of time so that he doesn't get to that point where he is reacting, because you can never put your hands on a woman. So we need to educate ourselves on how to deal with those types of situations when they occur. I want to just touch on a couple of other things real quick. We talked about, you know, the Tony and Corrupt situation. I feel like that relationship is just very dark to me. And there seems to be something else at play there that I feel like is a little bit too deep for reality television at this point. Although it does make for a compelling watch, I just feel like it's just a little bit too, like, there's something there that's, it just doesn't sit well with my spirit. The other thing that doesn't sit well with my spirit is Phaedra and this fakery, okay? Listen, I feel like I am wrapped up in too many issues on this show, too many real issues on this show to be dealing with Phaedra and this phoniness that she's doing in this show. I don't like it, not one bit. I really don't. And I feel like if you were going to come here and you were going to serve fraudulence on a silver platter, I feel like she could have kept that stuff in the A and kept it there and kept it pushing at the funeral home or whatever she was doing before she got there. Because for me, I'm just not interested. You know, when I'm watching this show, I am actually loving what I'm seeing between Willie and Shonda. You know, there's progress being made there. Even with Devon and Hazel, I'm intrigued by what they're going through, and I feel like that those relationships are the reasons why we watch this type of show, because ultimately we all want love and we all understand that we've all been through these types of relationships before at some point in time. So I feel like for her to come on this show and make a mockery of it is beyond comprehension to me, and it just disturbs me to no end. Okay, and I like Phaedra on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do not like Phaedra on Marriage Bootcamp, especially if she's going to be dealing with this. Now, if Phaedra was going to come on the show and really keep it all the way real, she should have came on here with Apollo and Shireen or Sherrianne or whatever you want to call her, if they're even together, because the streets say they're not together no more. But to me, that would have been a better way to come on the show, because then they could have worked on how to communicate and how to co-parent. And I felt like that would have been the real deal right there. Okay. But what we're seeing from Phaedra now is a whole bunch of like fraudulence, and I'm just not here for it. And again, that's my opinion. And that's it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm way too invested in this show to be watching this fake. And they ain't even giving us no fake drama. I mean, at least give us some fake drama. Slap him about the face if that's what you're gonna. Listen, don't slap him about the face. Don't do that. We just got finished talking about that. She would have been in the same situation. But y'all get what I'm saying. Like, just give me a little something if you want to like keep it interesting. But it's not even interesting. She over here halfway punching the punching bag. You know, talking about how she makes so much money and she wish she wasn't such a money magnet. I was like. And you know what the gag is? Here's the gag. He seems like a real nice dude. I feel like he is wasted dealing with her, right? I feel like there's a woman out there who is ready, willing, and able to, you know, get with a man like that. And it's being wasted on this act on television. That's just me. That's what I think. Why are we wasting our energy? Let me tell y'all something. It is so many women out here that I think would be like, yo, like that's a good dude right there that would make a nice little match together. You know what I'm saying? But this what we seeing with Phaedra, ain't it? Ooh, somebody said he's getting paid. Ooh, you just hit the nail on the head. All right, y'all, listen. Well, yes, God, we on this trip and we just still getting this work in, y'all. Doing the best I can, y'all. Doing the best I can. Thank you for this super chat, Bellies. They ain't bringing anything to the show. Nope, she ain't. And at a certain point in time, I feel like if you're not going to bring it, then just they need to be voted out or something. You know, can they do that? Can they vote people out on this show? That's what I want to know. Anyway, listen. I got to go because I got to check out this hotel room. Crazy day, right? Crazy day ahead of me, right? Crazy weekend ahead of me. But for now, listen. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so and hit that notification bell button. Also, follow me on Facebook, okay? And also join the texting community. I can just shoot you a text message and let you guys know that we're going live. And again, sometimes on the weekends, I might just text you that let you know I'm thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? Let you know that you're on my brain. You know what I mean? So with that being said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, notification bell button. Y'all stay safe, wear your masks. Be as cautious as you guys can. Take care of one another. Don't be afraid. And let me say this. Do not be afraid to have real conversations with people, because it is through real conversations that we make real progress. And if we are too afraid that we're going to say the wrong things in our real conversations, then we're not going to be able to get the authenticity that we need in order to move forward as a culture. It's okay to be wrong as long as you're willing to step foot in the right direction. Okay. So let's always be gentle with each other, be kind to one another, and I will see you guys in the next video.